Welcome. My name is Ray Naylor, and this is the Performing Songwriter, and this is the 7th episode. My guest today has 2 full-length CDs. This summer, she opened for Steve Forber at the Bryn Mawr Twilight Series. She also appeared this summer on the Geen Shay Folk Show, as well on WXPN. She's also a writer and teaches writing in addition to songwriting. So I'd like to introduce Denise Moser. Denise.
Well, hello, and thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for being on, and how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I've been looking forward to this, so it's good to see you, and looking forward to whatever it is we're going to be talking about today.
Okay. I'm going to ask you first to talk a little bit about how long you've been writing songs, how long you've been performing.
I started writing songs when I was pretty young, but I was not very brave about it initially, and my songwriting role models were extraordinary. So I would write my fledgling song and I would compare it to, Joni Mitchell's Hijira, and I'd decide that I was horrible and I'd better just pack it in. So a while back, when I turned 30, I told myself that I had 2 choices. I either needed to shut up or do it, and so then I started being a serious songwriter. Put out 1 album, span of time went by, and I just, about a year and a half ago, put out my 2nd one. I went through a long phase in between of writer's block, and I learned how to combat that. And partially also that's part of the impetus behind me teaching creative writing now. So it's been a while, and it's one of my very favorite things that I do.
Okay, why don't we hear a song?
Okay, this is called I Believe. I believe in winter boots and in clean slate snowy days, in knee-deep walks through the neighborhood and in a dried oak fire ablaze. And I believe in sleeping in and in grasping at a fading dream. I believe in saying what I mean. I believe and I'm so sorry. Do you know I care? I believe and I can see you there. I believe in a deep earth smell and in the sound of the falling rain, in tripping over my heavy heart and in getting up again. And I believe in letting go of those things that I cannot change. I believe in reaching past my range. I believe and it's my turn and I've waited for too long. I believe in wishing on a song. I believe what makes you you is the same thing that makes me me, and our differences are more the same than we ever would believe. And I believe in my own words and in the beauty of today. I believe in brown hair turning gray. I believe in a second chance and in a brand new fresh mistake. I believe in giving what I take. I believe the golden rule, it tells the truth and shows the way. And if I want to heal the world, I've got to live it every day. And I believe in working hard and in taking time to be. I believe there's more than I can see. I believe in tenderness
That's a pretty song and
Thank you.
Nice lyrics.
Thank you very much.
Okay, today's topic for songwriting are choruses. Now that song did not have a chorus.
Correct. It did not have a chorus. And when I wrote that song, I played with the idea of a chorus, and I considered putting one in, and I decided that it wasn't adding anything. You know, that the song was saying what I wanted it to say, and the only reason why I was considering having a chorus was because it's kind of a more common songwriting form to have a chorus, and I thought that this particular song was more powerful not having a chorus.
Well, the other thing, too, is one of the reasons to have a chorus is repetition, but you had a lot of repetition in that song.
Right.
And to have a chorus might have been like over repetition.
Exactly. I find that when I use choruses, and I do use them fairly often, I have a lot of songs that don't have them, but I do have, and I have some that have like taglines that kind of work as chorus. But when I do have a chorus, I use it to just underline the bottom line of the message that I'm trying to put out there. You know, oftentimes a verse might be like an illustration of the spirit of something, and then the chorus kind of drives it home.
Right.
And it's also just a place for the listener to be able to anticipate that, you know, and have a place for their ear to rest.
Right.
What I have found as a songwriter is that there's the craftsmanship, there's the inspiration, and for me, actually, more than inspiration, it's the showing up, and then the inspiration oftentimes will come, but it's the like showing up and getting everything out, and then editing and crafting. And what I've found is that songs will tell me what their form is supposed to be. And I believe that songwriting is part craftsmanship and part like this mystical thing. There's some songs that feel like they existed whole, and that my efforts were like as an archaeologist to kind of uncover them. But I do feel like it's important to spend a lot of time being purposeful, and I really enjoy editing. And you know the feeling of when you hear somebody else's song and you like it, or maybe sometimes even when you don't like it, and it gets stuck in your head, and you're just, well, what I have found is that when I you know, treat myself like a songwriter and I show up for work every day, then the songs that I am writing are the ones that get stuck in my head. So like when I'm in the shower or when I'm driving in my car, that's what's kind of ruminating, and then oftentimes it will suggest itself to me, like what the form is supposed to be.
Yeah, I think you're right. And the song you sang, as you said, you know what the message is, partly because of the repetition, I believe. And the chorus is good when the verses do not necessarily, right up front, give you the gist of what the kernel of the song is, and that's one of the reasons that a chorus uses.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to do a song here. I learned a couple songs I haven't done recently.
Oh, good. I look forward to hearing.
And we'll see if I can get through them. This is actually my first CD, and I wasn't going to put it on, but I did. And I'm glad I did, because it came, I had really good musicians play with me, and they really rocked out. And in the instrumental at the beginning of the song, that I used that at the end of the show when I showed my credits. That's in that song. This is called I think I wrote it this is a long time ago. I wrote it sitting in a bar, and there's no reality to this other than my fantasy, I guess, at the time. It's called Thinking About Love Tonight. I've been watching you all night long since you came into this place. I've been looking into your eyes and looking at your beautiful face. Now that we're having such a real good time and it seems like we're getting tight, I wonder if you're thinking about love tonight. Got you thinking about love, babe, thinking about holding me high. Got you thinking about love, babe, thinking about love tonight. We've been talking to the beat of the music, we've had quite a few. Let's put $1 in the jukebox and we can dance one or two. We can take a walk walk in the shadows, maybe in the soft moonlight. Tomorrow will be here soon. Are you thinking about love tonight? Got you thinking about love, babe. Thinking about holding me tight. Got you thinking about love, babe. Thinking about love tonight. As we dance around this room, and I just have one question, 'cause I don't want to assume, but by the way that your arms are wrapped around my neck, and by the way that you hold me tight, would I be wrong in thinking that you're thinking about love tonight? Got you thinking about love, babe, thinking about holding me tight. Got you thinking about love, babe, thinking about love tonight. Got you thinking about love, babe, thinking about holding me tight. Got you thinking about love, babe, thinking about love tonight. Thinking about love tonight. Thinking about love tonight.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yes.
You have me rooting for him. First in the song.
Okay, now we have our Skype interview.
Okay.
And our guest this week is Andrew McKnight, who's from Virginia. And he's actually in a band with one of the founding members of the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, we'll be right back. Since leaving his corporate environment engineering career in 1996, Andrew McKnight has logged well over 1,500,000 miles touring across America. In addition to his solo career, he fronts Andrew McKnight and Beyond Borders, along with founding Nitty Gritty Dirt Band member Les Thompson. Their 2012 live CD DVD, One Virginia Night, and Andrew's 5 solo CDs have earned much critical acclaim and airplay around the world, as well as a wealth of NPR stations and several XM Sirius satellite shows. The Boston Globe said of my guest, with a voice reminiscent of Don McLean, McKnight traverses from old-time Appalachian tunes to contemporary folk and blues, all backed up by his dead-on guitar playing. And I'd like to welcome my guest, Andrew McKnight. Andrew.
Hello again, Ray. How are you, my friend?
How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Well, I had you live, I'd say in the studio of my old Ustream show, and here you are in my new one.
Thanks for doing what you're doing to spread the gospel about all the good music that you come across in your travels.
Well, you're welcome. I'm going to ask you to tell us a little bit about how long you've been performing songwriting, that type of thing.
Well, I probably started writing songs when I was old enough to make noise and dink around on my dad's piano. But as far as making a career of it, my first album came out in 1995, and I've been deriving a livelihood from my life in music full-time since the end of 96.
Okay. We have a couple topics today that we're talking about in this show. And in terms of the craft of songwriting, today we're talking about choruses, why we use choruses, what we have in choruses, and so forth and so on. So I'm going to ask you to give your kind of philosophy about this topic.
You know, as a writer, I never like to have strict rules or requirements of myself, but a chorus is kind of like the bumper sticker message, the take-home message that you really want to use melody and rhythm and the feel to stick something in people's heads. I would say that being a storyteller, sometimes my choruses don't fit quite so neatly into that, but I do think that a good chorus stands out from the rest of the song. And for myself, I look at my body of work, and typically there are at least 3 things that change from the verse to the chorus. The chord that I'm centering it around, the melody might shift up, I might change the way that I'm attacking the guitar, but there's usually at least 3 things, and you kind of feel the setup happening too. most of the time when the chorus to an Andrew McKnight song is coming, you're aware that it's coming a second or two before it arrives.
Okay, I'll tell you what, I like to hear a tune.
All right. One with a good chorus or one with not?
It's up to you.
This is one that I've been doing with Les and the band for the last couple of years. Haven't recorded it, although there's a YouTube of it someplace. A little tribute to all of the musicians that helped me along the way, in particular when I was growing up, the guitar players in my dad's band, and a whole lot of people have conspired to make my life and music possible. So it was a little bit of gratitude and a little bit of fun kind of twisting up the story. It's called Guitar Man.
Andrew, yeah, I heard that song, or I should say watched that song in one of your videos, and you had a band there. That was your band?
Yes. Les Thompson playing beautiful fair-built guitars, bouzouki, and his wife Stephanie playing the upright bass, and Lisa Taylor, a fine singer-songwriter in her own right, on the drums.
Okay. Yeah, I like that song. We always write some songs about either guitars or songwriting or something. Where, you know, have you ever noticed that?
Write what you know.
Yeah, really. Sometimes write what you don't know, you write it anyway. Today's topic, as far as performing, is what we do with our bodies, facial expressions, whatever, hands, whatever. And so, you know, I had never heard really that discussion. I'm sure there has been, but not when I've been around. So I wanted to ask you, is it something that is a concern of yours when you perform, and how does that work for you?
Well, I guess I think about performing in terms of a bigger picture. Really, the life of an independent musician is really about connecting with people one-on-one, whether that's via, you know, them finding you on social media or coming to a show or buying your CD and sending you a note or whatever. And so the important thing for me about performing is to be engaging for the hour or two that I'm on stage, but also it's the opportunity to form some sort of connection with each person in the audience, which I have to say is really hard when you have the stage lights glaring in your face and you really can't see them all that well. But you can feel their presence, and just because you can't see them doesn't mean that they can't engage with you looking at them. So for me, the art of performance boils down to a couple of really important things. One is to be personal enough, you know, even in a physically personal way, to connect with people as much as possible. And then, you know, you're one person on stage with two hands and 2 feet and one instrument at a time most of the time, and whatever wits you have in between your ears. And you have to use those tools to be interesting and engaging and entertaining for 2 hours. And it's kind of like the Apollo 13 mission, you know? It's like, all right, here's what you got for tools, make it work.
One of the things that you said, which I think is important, that especially like singer-songwriters, sometimes forget. I think they think the song is going to totally carry them. And the need to be entertained, I think, is part of it, even with singer-songwriters. And I think people even that are very folky, so to speak, at a certain level, they want to be entertained when they're there. What do you...
If you don't enjoy the experience, you're not going to come and have the experience again. And I think when I was really sort of cutting my teeth about performing and being a singer-songwriter, the people that I studied are people who are still revered as very good performers and entertainers as well as songwriters. Folks like John Gorka and Cheryl Wheeler and Sean Colvin. The way that they weave the songs together with the words and the stories and the anecdotes in between. I'd like to think that I've, applied a lot of those lessons and developed my own style of doing that in a way that entertains people too. And sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's poignant, sometimes it's like one-man theater, but essentially it's not just the songs you wrote, it's how you weave the experience all together as a performer into what they take home in their heart and in their head.
Right. I remember in terms of facial expressions, the person I remember more than anyone is Joe Cocker. And what would he would have been so different the way he came off if he just sort of stood there like, you know. So anyway, I'm going to ask you, Andrew, to do one more tune.
Sure, happily. I think I'll do one that I co-wrote with Les and our good buddy Chance McCoy, who's currently playing guitar for Old Crow Medicine Show. But at the time, he was the 2-time West Virginia State Fiddle Champion, and we were asked to write a song for an album of songs about mountaintop removal coal mining. And this one's called Made by Hand. see the sun go down. Day from night by lantern light to earn enough to eat. By Saturday moon on the mountainside, the fiddle moved their feet. Went into mines at 14, took a wife at 21. Raised 5 kids in the holler like his daddy done. The company cut costs and corners everywhere it could. Still every Sunday they gave thanks that they had it good. For I know the times are changing. They say progress is good. And do we honor honest work like my granddaddy would? The eagle soaring high, would he recognize this land built upon the sturdy backs of those who made by hand? My daddy left these mountains for the mills of Ohio. Roll of steel that won a war far away from home. But back in Granddad's holler, big timber stripped the land. Laid the railroad tracks that can't bring back the lives they made by hand. For I know the times are changing. They say progress is good. Do we honor honest work like my granddaddy would? The eagle soaring high, would he recognize this land built upon the sturdy backs of those who made by hand? Hey, hey, hey. I long for West Virginia, her hard blue rolling hills. Memories of childhood, I hear those echoes still. But my family story's vanished, but no trace I could find. They even tore the mountain down where Granddad used to mine. I know the times are changing. They say progress is good. And do we honor honest work like my granddaddy would? The eagle soaring high,
bet you write a lot of story songs.
I do. I think probably the thing that motivates me most as a writer is a good story, something that I feel not only that I want to tell, but there's maybe something subtle about it that I want to bring out and maybe give an unexpected turn of perspective or view to it.
Mm-hmm. Now you also use Ustream, which I think is kind of cool.
I think the video experience is really a lot of fun. I've used Ustream, I've used Concert Window. I think that to be able to stay engaged with people in parts of the country I get to kind of rarely, or people around the world even, it's really a delightful experience, although it is kind of odd that everyone is watching and yet you're in a room by yourself. While you're doing it, you can see all the chatter going on in the chat room and all of that, and that's a lot of fun. But it's a different kind of performing experience to stay engaged like that.
Well, that's why I like to have somebody in the room with me, or in this case, over Skype.
That's right, my living room to yours.
There you go. Now
and to everyone else's.
Now you have a website and so forth. How can people contact you, learn about where you're playing, that type of thing?
Sure. I would love to have people come by and visit me at www.andrewmcknight.net. My last name has a K in it, mcknight.net. You can get yourself 9 free songs simply in exchange for me being able to email you once a month. And I will be doing one of those video webcasts most likely on the 30th of September, coming up here on 2014. And so if you want to know more about that, there's news about that on the website. There's news about the movie that I'm making with Marty Fair, about the guitar that he's building for me, and a whole lot more. Lots of good stuff to share there, and I'd be honored to keep people entertained for a little while online as well as at home.
Okay. Andrew McKnight, thank you very much for coming on.
A pleasure to visit with you again, my friend. Thanks for having me.
Okay. And we'll see you soon.
Okay, I want to thank Andrew for visiting with us via Skype. Okay, Denise.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to do a song here.
Okay, this is a brand new one. I'm actually going to be starting to record my next album in November, and this is a brand new song that will be on there. I've been wondering for a long time now. I can't figure it out. Can you tell me, does somebody know, where does old love go? Does it still climb the stairs in Chalfont, in that house by the old sledding hill? Does it laugh down the halls? Is it still in the walls? Does it remember me still? And I've been wondering for a long time now. I can't figure it out. Can you tell me, does somebody know, where does old love go? Does it live in those ink-faded pages of those letters I've kept all these years? 'Cause when I pick one up, I can still feel the love inside of me. That girl's still here. 'Cause I've been wondering for a long time now. I can't figure it out. Can you tell me, does somebody know, where does old love go? And one day when I stop being, what will happen to all I hold dear? Will all of the love that my heart's made of quietly just disappear?
I like that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, like when you're talking about the letter and stuff, you're able to take something which is like concrete, but then the emotion really came through. Like that.
Well, thank you. And you know what? I've learned that physical imagery like that oftentimes helps that. Do you know what I mean? Like, this song is so new that I've only performed it once.
Twice.
And, well, now twice, yes. But when I played it for an audience, afterwards, people were coming over to me and they were saying, I have letters too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know? And they understood that.
And it made it universal.
Yes.
Not
exactly.
just personal.
And I feel like, and that's also my growing edge, I still work on this, is to make something specific enough that it's universal. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, to kind of paint it.
Paint the picture.
Yeah.
The performing topic today is how we use our bodies on stage. And I've never, as I think I mentioned in the Skype interview, I've never really been in a discussion like that, even heard anybody bring that up. I'm sure they have. And a couple shows ago, I mentioned a book that I downloaded. I was looking on the internet for books or anything about performing skills and found very little, but I found a book that I downloaded called Singing Live, and which I'm showing on the screen right now. It's a really cool book, and I looked in there. She has 3 chapters on this. So I said, okay, I thought it was important.
Yeah.
You know, because it's especially singer-songwriters. It's easy for people just to kind of stand there and hope the song carries the day, so to speak.
Right.
So is that something that you kind of consciously think about before you go on stage or while you're out there?
Yes. When I perform, I am extremely well rehearsed, and I think very much about, what I'm putting forward. In terms of, like, physically, you're talking about what I'm doing with my body when I am much more comfortable playing standing up as you try to, like, figure out how to be comfortable in the chair.
Yeah.
So this is my best kind of mimicking of, like, sitting cross-legged in my bed writing songs, which I still do to this day, like when I was 16 years old. I feel most comfortable standing up, and I feel like if I'm really well rehearsed, then in the moment I can just embody the song, and I feel like I can deliver it better if I can move a little bit. And it's also much more interesting for somebody who's in the audience than just watching me, sitting in a chair or just kind of being totally stock still. There are some limitations because I've got a microphone I've got to be working with. I choose to plug my guitar in, even though like a mic at the sound hole actually sounds better, I believe. Sometimes I'll use both, but having it plugged in, I feel like gives me a little bit more range of motion. And I also feel like a performance is a conversation. So when I am performing, I'm very aware that I am wanting to build a relationship with you out there in the audience, and I'm wanting my songs to build a relationship with you. So I like to look at people and feel like they feel seen. Sometimes it's a little tricky because depending on the venue you're playing, sometimes there's lights in your eyes, and then all you can really see is the front row or front couple rows.
Right.
But still, you can hear people responding, and can kind of attend to that. I also feel like it's really important to be comfortable, and so I have like my set designed, which is very simple, but it's always the same, or I try to make it the same, which is to have a stool like this. There's a stool here, I don't know if you can see it, or a small table at my right, and on that is always water, hot tea. I travel with my own little tea thermos. I always have my hot tea, and my phone. And the reason why my phone is there is no, I'm not checking my email or Facebook or posting pictures, but I like to be extremely aware of the time. If someone tells me that I'm opening for somebody and I have 35 minutes, then I need to be able to know at a glance where I am in that time, so that I can, sometimes I'll add a song or I'll take a song away, and I like to weave a journey, like a story. I very much care about the chat between songs, and really, again, building relationship with people. My family has actually laughed because there's a part of me that comes out on stage that mostly only comes out on stage, and it actually feels like one of the most genuine parts of me. And I'm told that I'm funny, which if you know me in my regular life, I don't think it's an adjective you would use for me. But I just feel like, it's important to engage people, and humor is something that people enjoy. A lot of my songs are really serious. I actually have a couple camps. I have more kind of serious things, and I also have a camp of kind of funny songs. I think it's important to mix them up some. So I feel like there's like what you're doing with your body, and then also how you're kind of sculpting a set.
Well, it's funny because just hearing you talk about just about everything we've talked about in this show.
Have I really?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I just want to say something about the standing versus sitting. I absolutely agree with you. In the 90s, Small M managed 3 different performing songwriters, and 2 of them, when I first met them, sat down. One I did get standing. The other person wasn't comfortable playing guitar standing, although later on, when we weren't working together, I did see her perform standing. In her case, what we did is we got a stool, and she sat on the stool, which made her as high,
right?
But also on her publicity stuff like card. At that time, we didn't have the internet so much.
Right.
Sent out cards, and somebody had drawn for me that stool.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
And it became her like trademark. So
yes,
that was the
brand,
idea anyway. The other thing is, and I learned this from studying this video stuff when they do like movies and stuff. If they want to show somebody I hate to use this term. I don't mean really controlling, but they have them up looking down. The other way around, if and I don't necessarily saying that we should be like in an all-powerful position at the same time we're on stage,
right.
And we have to, in a sense, present who we are, and we have to. Greg Greenway once said you had to grab them by the collar,
right?
And if we're down looking up, it's not going to work as well as if we're kind of looking down a little bit.
I also think that as a singer, I sing better when I'm standing up, because my body is more in the position that it needs to be kind of like singing with all of me. So I feel like I can present myself better when I'm standing up. So yeah, it's sort of another way to like be in your power.
So I'm going to do a song. This is a song that I also wrote some time ago and have kind of just relearned.
Sometimes it's fun to bring out old songs and make them new again. They have a whole new life. And sometimes like something that's happened since the last time you've done it kind of infuses it with a little bit of a different energy. So it's fun to resurrect some old songs.
This is called It's Not Fine Dining, but the Diner is Fine. A diner has style, but it doesn't have class. The waitress is slow, but the cooks are fast. And the smell of the cigarettes mixed with the food. So I go to a diner when I'm in the mood. It's not fine dining, but the diner is fine. I drink my coffee and I spit out the grinds. I'm usually alone, but I still have a good time. It's not fine dining, but the diner is fine. What I like to eat whenever I'm out is scrapple and eggs. They melt in my mouth. A diner can fix breakfast just right, and all of them serve it day and at night. I love fine dining, but the diner is fine. I drink my coffee and I spit out the grinds. Usually alone, but I still have a good time. It's not fine dining, but the diner is fine. If I were a rich man, I could eat anywhere. I'd have a pretty woman to accompany me there. I'd look her in the eye, I'd tell her where to go. Down by the corner to Sloppy Joe's, and then I'd tell her it's not fine dining, but the diner is fine. And if she wears a frown and starts to whine, if I'm still alone, I still have a good time. It's not fine dining, but the diner is fine. It's not fine dining, but the diner is fine. Drink my coffee and I spit out the grinds. I'm usually alone, but I still have a good time. It's not fine dining. Here comes the diminished chord. It's not fine dining.
You got it.
Not fine dining, but the diner is fine.
That's great. That's great. And I'm glad that no longer does the smell of cigarettes mingle with the food.
But when I wrote that in the diner, sure enough.
Yes.
It was at a place called the Lanerick Diner in Upper Darby. And that was actually in the movie, the silver, what is that, silver lining?
Playbook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually...
Yeah, it was fun to see all of the like Upper Darby neighborhood kind of things in there. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How would people learn where you're playing, how to find out what you are all about?
The best way to keep in touch with me and to know what I'm up to is to visit my website, which is denisemosermusic.com. DENISEMOSER music.com. And on my website you will find my appearances, news. You'll find my blog. Interspersed in my blog are these little bite-sized flash fiction pieces that I write. You also will be able to hear some songs streaming live, and also my music videos are on there. There's some more that are on YouTube, but my favorite ones I have embedded into my website. And I especially would love if what I do resonates with you, then when you're at my website, please join my mailing list, and you will get mail from me twice a month. And that's the best way to keep in touch with me, and I always love hearing from people. Okay.
Now your final song.
My final song is the title track of my current album. It's called Here Right Now. It goes like this. This is my current anthem. I'm changing, I can feel it, I can choose it, I can heal it, I can be brave in the face of fear. I'm aging, I can see it, I can claim it, I can be with it, I can be the me I've wished would someday steer. And there are lines on my face that are new, they remind me of what I've been through. Oh, I'm softer and I'm grayer, I'm wiser and I'm saner, and a little girl lives in the heart of me. I'm older and I'm better, sometimes I'm a regretter, but the truth is it's all a part of me. And there are lines on my face that are new, they just remind me of what I've been through. Oh, and I'm here right now. Now and if I could go back, I'd draw a map to show how to get me from there to where I'm standing now. And it wouldn't take me so long next time. I'd hear the rhythm and I'd feel the rhyme. But there's no point to it, 'cause I'm here now. And I'm changing, I can feel it, I can choose it, I can heal it, I can be brave in the face of fear. I'm aging, I can see it, I can claim it, I can be with it, I can be the me I've wished would someday steer. And there are lines on my face that are new, they just remind me of what I've been through. Oh, and I'm here right now. I'm here, I am here now. I'm here right now. I'm here right now. I'm here right now.
Cool.
Thank you.
I like those lyrics.
Thank you very much.
I like the one with the line in the face. That's good. That's good lyric. Yeah.
Thank you.
I had booked you in the 90s.
Yes, you did.
Place at Biddle's Cafe in Ambler, PA.
I remember.
And I wouldn't have booked you if you weren't good then, but you've really grown as an artist
Thank
since
you.
then. Yeah,
Thank
a lot.
you. I appreciate that. Much appreciated.
Before we say goodbye, I want to talk about our next show. In-studio guest, Nick Averitt from Wilmington, Delaware.
I know Nick Averitt. Good songwriter.
Good songwriter and performer. And our Skype guest is Harriet Schock from L.A. Yeah, Harriet Schock, that's what I said. Okay.
Yeah.
And she actually won a Grammy for a song sung by Helen Reddy, called Ain't No Way to Treat a Woman. And other artists that have done some of her songs are Smokey Robinson, Manford Mann, Roberta Flack, and and others.
Ah, good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her. I look forward to hearing that.
Okay, so Denise Moser, thank you very much.
You're welcome very much. It was fun.
It was great, yeah. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.